Be a chat. Do you have your wine? There you go.
I do.
You do? Okay, there you go. All right, hang on for 2 seconds. We are just going live right now. So, welcome everyone. We'll do introductions in like 30 seconds. Um, hang on for 2 seconds. I'm trying to see if I can monitor this at the same time that I'm playing on it live. I've got 3 devices. I look like I could launch a spaceship right now. And whatever I did over here didn't work. All right. Oh, there we go. Interesting. This video is live now. Watch live. No, I can't play it. Hopefully we're doing okay. Worst case scenario, we'll record it and we'll put it up later, right? Okay. That's what happy hour is all about, taking it easy and not fretting on a Friday. So let me make introductions and kind of explain to people what we're going to do, because I think this is a new concept. At least I haven't seen one before. So my name is Tanya Eldert. I'm a broker associate and team leader for the Plus team. And I am a licensed Florida real estate agent with Realty Partners. And Stephanie, I'm going to let you introduce yourself while I drink my wine.
Okay. Hi, I'm Stephanie Harris. I am a licensed real estate agent in Florida, and just super excited to be here.
Yay. Okay. Yeah, I have no clue what I'm doing on my iPad over here. I should have put this in charge, my daughter in charge of that one. Anyway, so let's keep going, and we'll see if anybody has any questions. Maybe I can get on my phone. So what the happy hour is about is, well, 2 things. With COVID, I've been a little happy hour deprived. Don't know about you, but I haven't been going out very much.
Yeah, so, we all have been. It's terrible.
And yeah, we've all been. And, you know, I used to look at a lot of houses. I would go tour them. I would be nosy. I would check for my buyers, meet sellers, just do a whole bunch of different things out in the real world. And though real estate in Florida is very hot right now, just like the temperature, we really can't do looky-loos like we used to. So, right. And, even open houses have calmed down yet. So what I thought we could do is kind of introduce people to different parts of Florida, and also some of the different houses that are in that market. Now, I'm going to apologize. The boom boom is the afternoon thunderstorms that roll through this time of day, this time of year. So it's not me making extra noise. But we're just going to go and do that, and we'll look at some houses and we'll look at some listings. And if people want to know more information, they can get in contact with us. But it's going to be kind of like just taking a peek at an area. So for today, for the very first one, I actually started with Tarpon Springs because it is one of my favorite areas in Florida. And we started, I live in the area. So let me go and show people Tarpon Springs if you don't know it. So here's Florida, here's Orlando. Everybody knows where Orlando is. Here's Tampa, you see Clearwater. And I'm just going to zoom in a little bit and kind of show you the area that we're talking about. Now, we're talking about the Gulf Coast right here. Tarpon Springs is considered part of the Tampa Bay region, which is actually 3 different counties, Hillsborough, Pinellas, and Pasco. And so it is a huge region. All of this region is considered, Tampa Bay. But right up here in this corner, and I live in Trinity, so I'm very familiar with this. We just pop over to Tarpon to grab something to eat because there's awesome restaurants over there. But you can see right here, the Tarpon Springs area, it has got the Gulf to the west. It has got Tarpon Lake to the east. and right above it's got the Ancloak River. And so it's got water almost surrounding all three sides. And then, of course, it's also very close to Clearwater and the Clearwater Museum and Honeymoon Park. So it's just a great area, especially for people who like to be around the water. So tell me, because you are a water person, and I know that you have been out on the boat in this region. So talk about it.
It's just beautiful. Coming from Maryland and having lived in the Northeast a good part of my life, and then choosing to come to Florida because I just love it. It's amazing, and it's so incredible to me that you can live in and around the water for it's a lot less expensive than to live on the water in the Northeast. I love it because you can easily get out to the Gulf. There's lots of fishing, like you said, the restaurants and that kind of stuff. I love it. And you can go, up the river that you were talking about, and I can't even count how many stops you could make at all these amazing restaurants and bars, and dock your boat or drive up even, but just sit right on the water. And there just aren't a lot of places that you can do that. And I love it.
Someday I'm going to have to share my video of Whiskey Joe's, which is my favorite bar. It's right on the beach. It's on one of these little rivers, and literally the dolphin swam up to right there within like 2 feet of, right there. And it was on my birthday. It was right before COVID hit, and that's still one of my favorite videos. So yeah, I mean, it's just, you have the dolphins, you have the manatees, and I think best of all, you just have the year-round use and the ability to go out. I mean, I hated the cold. I was not a fan of being in the cold. And I think for some people, they're like me. And I was like in Virginia Beach at one point, because I grew up near you. We grew up near together on the eastern shore of Maryland. Then I moved to Virginia Beach, and we didn't get a whole lot of snow, but there was one year we got 3 or 4 what some people would consider dustings, but it was too much for me at that point. I was like, we're done. We're moving south. I'm not doing this another winter. And I think other people kind of feel that way. They're not shoveling another driveway this winter. So,
right. Well, I have to say, I wasn't as smart as you. You started in Maryland, and at least you kept moving south. I started in Maryland and went to New Jersey, and then started my trek south again. But I love the manatees. Not that the dolphins aren't like super cute, but the manatees are just so they just feel like big, furry, like you want. And I have never been to Tarpon that I have not seen a manatee. So they're everywhere.
Yeah. And in fact, that was one of the reasons, the manatees were one of the reasons we picked Tampa. My husband got 2 job offers numerous years ago. I guess it was over 5 years ago. One was for Houston, Texas, and one was for Tampa. And we had recently been to Crystal River and swam with the manatees. And we just all looked at each other going, we're moving to Tampa. There's manatees. And so we just came this way because of that, amazing trip that we had done. So it is a great area. There's tons of places you can day trip in this area. People day trip to Tarpon all the time. So now that people know where it's located, I want to just show a little bit of history about it. As soon as you park on the main street where they have the touristy area, there is a museum, and you can go in there and you can watch videos and see pictures about the area. But basically, back in the 1880s, they discovered that there were sponges off the Gulf, and they ended up going to Greece because they had a long history of diving for sponges in Greece. So a lot of people from there came over to here and started the sponge industry. And at a certain point, it did get really hit by some of the red tide and got killed off for a little while, but it's back now. In fact, one of the slides I want to show you, this was about a couple years ago, but I literally took that picture. All the pictures I'm showing I took, but I literally took that picture right at the sponge dock. So people had just loaded it off. And you have the sponges there, and you just don't see that everywhere. I mean, it's unique to this area. So But one of the neat things, we know that inventory is low in Florida. So if you're looking to come here, depending on your price range, there can be multiple offers or, kind of a situation where there's a lot of people who want the same house, depending on the price range in the house. But right there was a picture I took yesterday of all the listings in the Tarpon area.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm going to show you in a few minutes. That is a huge range of different types of properties. I mean, this is not just, I've got $2 million listings in there, and I've got some in the hundreds. So you can see just by those green points, this is a hugely diverse area as far as the prices of the properties and who can come down here and live here. So, yay. And we do have a lot, like ourselves, we do have a lot of people who come from the north to Florida.
Well, one of the things I love about being here is that most people have chosen to come here. They've taken great strides and pains to move to Florida, and I just love that. Everybody here is so friendly because they want to be here. They chose this place, and Tarpon is just such a great place to choose.
My mother-in-law and I, for a brief time, lived in New Jersey as well. And my husband's family, and my husband is all from New York and Long Island. And there, my mother-in-law's 55 plus community is filled with New Yorkers like herself. So she does not feel out of place at all down here. When she came down with us, my mother came down with us. They all have their own places. But once we said we're moving to Florida, everybody in the family is like, "Oh, they're going. We might as well find a place too." And we do have a lot of 55 plus communities here. There's a lot of different HOAs. There's a lot of condos. The real estate world down here is different than up north. And I think that people who are looking at coming down here do need to realize that and work with an agent who knows the differences. And I'm not just talking, there are no basements. There's more to it.
Right.
I love when I know buyer for the first time and they're moving down there and they're like, "I'd like a house with a basement." I was like, "No, you really don't." We don't make them. We still have some with fireplaces. I've had buyers who's like insisted on fireplaces in Florida, and I have one. I use it about 8 times a year, and the wood pile is literally out there rotting. But yeah.
But no basement.
No basement. No, I don't want a basement. Just like on the Eastern Shore of Maryland, you didn't want a basement. There's a reason for that. It's called where the water table is. So anyway, these are just a few of the neat pictures I've taken during many of our trips down there. I love the artwork. Of course, the sponges, which are right there. You can just buy them and use them for different things. The really neat thing you can do is take the sponges and put air plants in them. And they're really a nice little basket for air plants to grow into. And I love the bikes. They decorate bikes all up and down the street. So there are more bikes. I didn't put them all on here, but I picked a few of the ones I liked. And the food. I mean, these are this is one of the exchange students we had for a year, and my daughter, and just literally, eating our way up and down. This is one of the street festivals that they did before COVID. But again, so much fun to go down there. And many of the houses we're going to look at, they're in walking distance to this, the biking distance. We have people who ride motorcycles there, and tons of really good restaurants. So. Say that already. So let me get to the thing I wanted to show you. So, I showed you that one picture of just all those dots. So while I'm sitting there going, "Oh my gosh, 1, how do I keep this down to like about a half hour? And 2, which ones do I pick?" So anyway, I'm like playing around. I love playing on the MLS, finding properties. So I picked a couple. And I've got a huge range, so I'm going to let you know. And these are just some of the spots. Now, the picture I took is up here, kind of right here on the water of Pine Street, so you get an idea where that is. And one of the things I did want to show you about Tarpon Springs, I totally forgot to point it out, so I'm going to go in now. is all the amazing parks that are in the area. So one of these listings actually has one of the parks that are down here, which is Fred Howard Park. You're going to find that on one of the listings, and that's over here at Guts Out. It's kind of got a neat causeway that goes out to the water. There's Sunset Beach. There are several along Lake Tarpon. And then there is the Honeymoon Island State Park. And so if you like more natural settings, if you want to go to the beach, I mean, these are all free places to go. Some of them might have a parking fee, but it is really nominal. That's one of the things I really like about, oh, you've probably not seen it. I'm on the wrong thing, aren't I? I'm so sorry. You guys are probably thinking I'm nuts. Okay, so here's Fred Howard, right? Then down here is Honeymoon Island and Sunset Beach. And over here, there's a ton along Lake Tarpon as well. So anyway, so let me go back to these listings. My thought. I've got two computers, and I obviously should not drink and juggle computers right now.
Do not drink and mouse. Do not.
Well, you know, I pulled this out. Oh, I've got to mention this. So this is the sangria that we got from Spain. So it is not the like, you know, the very sweet sangria that you can get in the U.S., but I love my sangria with fruit. I think that's because I like to drink it and then eat the fruit. It's just as good as drinking it. So anyway, this is my Spanish sangria.
This is the mimosa that we got from the kitchen.
Oh, okay. All right. Mimosa sounds good too.
Not exactly, but still very good.
We have our happy hour already. My husband's looking at me as I'm walking back into my office with this, and he's like, exactly, what are you going to be teaching? And I'm like, I won't finish it all during the meeting. I promise. I'll wait till after. All right, so this is the $2 million house, and it's 7 bedrooms and 6 bathrooms. And I understand that not everybody wants 7,000 square feet on the water, but I love the fact that you can see such pricing and diversity in the area. So you can go from a $2 million listing to, you know, a few blocks in, and there is, you know, more 300, 400s, $200 villas. You know, there's a whole different range of houses that you can get in this area. So these are just some pictures of the listing that got pulled out. You know, it's right there by the water. I mean, how gorgeous is that? Right there. That, you know, inside, again, gorgeous. There's some rooms in here I was kind of flipping through. And again, it's 7,000 square feet. So I'm like, I don't even know what half the rooms do until you take a tour. And then you're probably not sure anyway. But I kept thinking, you know, I have a teenager in the house, and we're looking at a way to try to make our house bigger. So there's like a separation between parents and teenagers. And I'm like, with 7,000 square feet, I could do that. I'm sure there's an area for a teenager in here.
A lot of area for a teenager, yes.
But I mean, how pretty is this with the hardwood floors and the huge bathrooms? I'm thinking with this hookup, this was probably one of the laundry rooms, but who knows? I mean, they had the balcony up here overlooking the loft area, looking down. Beautiful floors. I'm thinking this is the teenager den. You stick them down there. Again, with 7 bedrooms, but you know, a lot of people get properties like this to be used as, you know, for their own vacations or vacation rentals. We have a ton of Airbnbs in our area. Now, I think 2 million might be going overboard with the Airbnb, but I mean, think about having friends come over or wintering here. You've got to love down here the double bird cage with the hot tub. You know, in case anybody's noticed, if you look to the back, you'll see the second floor balconies are all in the bird cage too. Before I moved to Florida, I couldn't figure out why everything had a bird cage until my first summer here with the mosquitoes, and I realized that was very, very important.
Yes, I felt the same way. I was like, why does everything have a cover of some
Yeah,
kind?
I couldn't figure it out until,
I get it.
and
I get
in
it now.
Pasco County, you're in Pinellas, I'm in Pasco, and I don't know if they have it in Pinellas. You'll have to look at this upcoming election. But in Pasco, the mosquito controller, they call it, the person who's in charge of that is an elected position. It's actually on your election ballots.
I
So if
did
the
know
guy
that.
messes up, you get to vote him out if he's not controlling the mosquitoes.
Wow. So choose wisely.
I
Each vote counts.
think it's in Pasco, his middle name is like Skeeter or something. Every year I've been here, the man's been on there, probably because he has the middle name Skeeter.
Of course
But
it is.
but I mean, beautiful outdoor entertaining area, and you know as well as I do. I mean, you can entertain year round in Florida. It is not just for like 3 or 4. I mean, even in Virginia Beach, we closed up our pool. I came here. I was like, okay, we're the companies that come close up the pool for you. And they're like, you don't close your pool. You don't
Right.
use it for a couple of weeks, but you don't close it.
Yeah.
So,
Well, and you'd have to have it open because everybody's going to want to come visit. Everybody.
oh my gosh. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. I get more visitors here than any other place we lived.
Right. Right. Well, why would they want to? I mean, I loved Maryland, but why would you want to come there in February? You would not.
No,
No.
no. But they do come visit us here. So, and you can notice here where they have the lift right here down at the docks. You'll find that in a lot of the water properties, even some of the ones that are in the $100,000-$200,000 range. We'll still, and on the canals, we'll still have a boat lift. So that's very common in our area. Yes, we do have flooding. Probably most of the houses we're going to look at here today will be in a flood zone. You will have to carry flood insurance if you use a lender. It's optional if you don't use a lender, but if you use a lender, you're going to have to. This one is half the price here. It's $1 million right here on the Gulf, but you can see it's still got a beautiful view. In fact, the other one was on the Ancloak, and this one's actually on the Gulf. If you do have a hurricane that comes through, you're going to have some flooding and high tides. And you will see, if you notice down here on this one property, this is the garage down there, and this might be like a laundry space, but they don't tend to use that bottom floor because of flooding.
Right.
It's not considered sometimes even livable space, according to the insurance company. So keep that in mind. That you do have the raised houses here. And you will see many houses that will try to make that into a second bedroom or another little place or a rec room. And just understand that should a flood come in, they're not covering the repair of that. If you had stuff down there, it's because it was never intended for that. But can you imagine just sitting here and just drinking your coffee in the morning and looking out over the Gulf?
Gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. And I have to say, let me just interject. I've been, again, on the Chesapeake Bay and the rivers and stuff most of my life, and I have never seen water like down here. The Gulf is so beautiful. And it does, cool off in the winter. But oh my gosh, you can stand in the Gulf chest deep and see your feet. And it is just some of the most beautiful water I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah. No, I completely agree. I mean, before I even moved here, I remember coming down to Clearwater, even before I married my husband or had my daughter. And I was winter. It was February. And of course, I'm from Maryland at this point, and it feels great down here. I don't care if it was 67 or low 70s. I jumped right in the water and went swimming, and like right out there with the dolphins swimming by me. And I remember it was Valentine's Day, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm swimming with the dolphins. Oh, they were way out, but I'm swimming with the dolphins on Valentine's Day. And it was just amazing to be able to have that. So yeah, Florida has always been one of my favorite vacation places. And now I like to say I live where other people vacation because it's true.
I definitely think it's different, and no hard feelings to the East Coast, but being on the ocean over there, especially if you are from one of the northern states and and you're a coastal state. So if you live in New Jersey, Maryland, Virginia, you've been to the ocean. This Gulf side is just a lot different. It really
It is.
is.
And you can see the sunsets. Like we grew up on the East Coast, so you got to see the sunrise, but here over the water, I mean,
Yes.
but here you literally see the sunset over the water, and
Yeah.
it's different. It just is. I don't
It
care what
is.
anybody says. So it's
Yeah.
still one of my favorite parts, sit out there on the beach or something with a drink and
Yep.
my many favorite drinks and watch the sun go down.
Yep. Yep. Mine too. Mine too.
So, I mean, look, beautiful outdoor spaces. A lot of the houses here, you will find gorgeous outdoor space because
Yes.
people do move here for a reason. There's a reason they chose this house. And, you'll find that accentuated a lot. So I love that. Now, this one, we're from where we're near the Outer Banks in North Carolina and stuff like this. And I mean, look at this gorgeous house for $570. Right there near the water. I mean, how pretty is that? It's only been on the market for like 18 days. Yes, it's not on the Gulf, but it is in a community. It's very nice place. So for some people who are starting to compare this to maybe some prices they have in, up north, it is, honestly affordable. Right here, you'll see some of the pictures of the local area that they put in. I mean, golf courses. Oh my gosh, the whole area down here has tons of golf courses. If you golf, you will not lack in courses. I picked this house. One, it was walkable and able to go down to the downtown area, within blocks kind of thing. But it's one of their historical homes. So I thought that this was neat. It came back up on the market again. It's not huge. It's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, only 2,000 square feet. But it's kind of a very unique property because it was built in 1910. And, it needs some work and some renovations and everything. But it's one of those people who like those historical houses. This is unique. So I had to pick this one for that purpose.
It's just the offerings are just so varied. I love that part.
Yeah, exactly. They're not completely cookie cutter. I mean, this is one for under 3. It's a 4-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,600 square feet. So that's a good size house. It's completely, totally remodeled. I mean, look how gorgeous this place is. Now, I will give people just the heads up warning. I believe this is the virtual furniture you can stick inside of a picture. So just to give you a heads up, but they like to put it there so they can show you how it's been staged and what you could do with the space for people who have trouble kind of envisioning it. But, new floors, new bathroom stuff, got a little backyard, but it's just one of the medium priced to lower end housing that you could get. Here's another one. This one's around, $259, 4 bedrooms, 2-bath, a little smaller. Just one of these little tiny family homes in the area. You can see right down here in the middle, it's across the street from the water. I'm 99.9% sure that there would be flood insurance needed with this one if you're that close to the water. And let's face it, when you're that close to the water and there's a tide that goes up a couple of feet, everything's on the water line. I mean, there is no hill going up that's protecting you right there.
Right.
So, but I mean, pretty indoors. I love these ceilings. Can I just say that I have huge loft ceilings, so it won't work in my house, but I love those wood ceilings. So just reminds me of like, yeah, it's kind of nautical. It reminds me of the boat. I spent years in Annapolis. I spent probably 15 years in Annapolis. So to me, it's very Annapolis-y.
Yep, so. I agree.
But just a pretty house, especially for that price. And then the other one, and this is the Fred, was it Fred Howard? Fred Howard Park, yeah. That you can go out on. And it's one of the first parks we discovered, but it's actually got a causeway where you can go out. So you go out a little further in the Gulf, and then there's a beach on the backside that you can go out on. So for those of us who don't have a boat, who like to go out into the water, this one works.
Right.
Now I picked this one because it's 160. It is a villa. For snowbirds who might come down here, the villas and the condos are good options just because they'll care for the property when you're not here. So they're taking care of the maintenance on the property and the yard and all of that stuff. So it just gives you a little bit more peace of mind
Mm-hmm.
why you're not here for 3 or 4 or 5 months kind of thing.
Right.
Rentals down here during snowbird season, which generally is November to March, April-ish. You can start in October sometimes, but getting rentals is very difficult for that short period of time. Some people have a way in, but a lot of times it can be challenging. So, this one would be probably have condo fees. There are specific condo laws in Florida that both you and I know, and we can work with buyers
Mm-hmm.
specifically for that. A lot of buyers and sellers don't realize the condo laws that are available in Florida, that you have to, the seller has to provide certain documents, or literally the buyer can walk the day of signing and get all their money back because the seller didn't hold up their end.
Mm-hmm.
And you need to be able to protect either your buyer or seller, whoever you're working with.
Right.
Look at this behind there, like the metal on the back. I mean, some people like that, some people don't. I think it's very nice. I like it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the metal plates back there behind the kitchen. See, here's a good shot of it right here.
Cute.
Um, so, this would be a nice villa for, 2 bedroom. It has a huge kind of outdoor area here, or a Florida sunroom you can see here in the back, which is
Mm-hmm.
really great for plants and just sitting out. It has a community pool, community rec center, and I mean, gorgeous. This is like your backyard right here. How can this not be good if this is your backyard? So. So this is the last one I wanted to show, but I mean, I think it gives people a great overview of, how diverse it can be in Tarpon.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're watery or you like this kind of area, it would be a neat place to shop. And between you and me, I mean, you live closer to Clearwater. I live a little bit more north. So this is actually in between both of us.
Right.
And I think Tarpon is just a little less crowded than Clearwater. Everybody thinks Clearwater and they head there.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I think Tarpon's just a little bit more.
Yeah, I think so too. And to me, I'm not a big crowd person. Clearwater seems, it's lovely. It is so beautiful, but it seems a little more spring breakish, especially right there on the beach.
Mhm.
And I think that if you wanted to do something that was a little more relaxing, if you wanted to be in an area that's a little more, kind of peaceful. Not the Clearwater isn't, but I think the Tarpon definitely is.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think, just in general, I mean, of course, Tampa's the hub, and we showed that earlier on,
Right.
with that map. Tampa is the hub of many things. So, but when and I did not really realize this, which I should have, because I lived on the Chesapeake Bay and I'm moving to Tampa Bay.
Mhm.
And, but what I didn't really realize that when they say Tampa Bay, they truly mean almost everything in that circle. I mean, it's just,
Right.
this is it.
Yes.
And there is such a huge differentiate. I mean, we have different electric companies. We have different garbage companies.
Mhm.
It is very different county to county. The school systems are very different between Hillsborough, Pinellas, and Pasco.
Yeah.
Huge differences. I mean, this area, and we'll have to do something on Wesley Chapel soon. This is right over in here off 75 near Land O'Lakes.
Mhm.
Huge growing area. They're
Mhm.
actually, I think up near, I think it's closer to Dade City, but somewhere in the middle of here, they're putting a snow park. They will literally have a snow park
Wow.
in Florida opening in the winter. I
Huh.
don't know how that's going to work. I'm just saying we're going to explore that.
Right.
But
Right. Yeah.
supposedly it'll be open this winter.
Yeah. Wow. That would be. I mean, the air conditioning bill will be amazing.
It's
But
outside. I've seen it. How do you not get the snow to melt? I'm like,
yeah.
it drops between under I mean, it drops to freezing 1 or 2 times a year, and you panic because you're literally bundling up all your plants.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know? So I'm like,
They somehow do it in hockey arenas, so same,
yes, it's outside though. I've seen it. It's like
Oh, it's
slopes
outside.
outside.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. Oh wow. Yeah, then I have no idea.
Yeah.
I've got nothing.
Yeah, I was like, no clue either. We're gonna figure this out though. We'll do a whole nother show on that.
There you go. There you go. Yeah. I was going to say, one of the things that I really love about this whole area, that big circle you were drawing, like with Tampa Bay. Um, I know that sometimes when you live in a city, especially up north, and you kind of go to a suburb, there aren't really the conveniences that you would like to have because you're out kind of in the suburb or you've gotten more rural. And what you find is that, like you have to drive a long way to get to what you need. So, the grocery store and, Walmarts and things like that. And one of the things I love about Tarpon and, you said you live a bit north, I live a bit south. You can be in Tampa in like 20 minutes, 30 minutes. You can be at the airport. You can be in a major city, but you can have the benefit, I guess, of living where it's quiet or where
Yeah.
it's a little more not rural, but where you can know your neighbors and you can like walk into Walmart and see people that and things like that. And it is just so the best of both worlds. I just love that part of it. I really do.
Unless you want to commute over these 4 bridges during rush hour. Okay, let's just
Right.
be completely honest. Do not go over the bridge, rush hour either direction. It's just ridiculous. But besides that, I
Yes.
mean,
Besides
they do
that,
have quite a few expressways. Like for us, they have a really nice expressway here that goes up to where we are. You know what I mean? I can literally I'm in the Trinity area, so I can pop over here on 54 and literally be at the airport in less than 30 minutes if I'm not during the middle of rush hour. So, I mean, that is nice. Like you said, you can get to the places that you need to get to, and there's tons of shopping and, tons of healthcare. Goodness knows we have healthcare everywhere. That's why we moved here. So my husband could open up an urgent care. So, we have that kind of thing. But yeah, it's nice. It's like being able to pretend you're on vacation some days when you just need to pretend you're on vacation. And once COVID's over, or we're out more, this whole thing, quarantine stuff is done. We'll be back to it, and I think people are even going to appreciate it even more because they're not going to be sitting there sipping their sangrias in front of a virtual thing. They'll be actually down on the beach sipping their sangrias, watching the dolphins swim by. So,
you got it. You exactly. Yes.
so this was fun. I hope
Yeah.
that people learned a lot about Tarpon if they hadn't been to that area before. If you have any questions, we do have our phone numbers on here, and people can give us a call.
Yep.
And we'll do some more of these. We'll pick some other areas, and we might do some shorter ones or some actual home tours here and there. But again, you have to be respectful of, going into people's places and looking at them unless you're really seriously buying at this point because of COVID. So this is an option. And I know both of us would be willing to do a more private tour with somebody one-on-one via Zoom if there were specific houses they wanted to look at. And, we've moved a lot of people, not only ourselves, but moved a lot of people from up north and helped them buy houses here. Baltimore area, New York area. So I've helped a lot of people. I've helped people buy houses that they literally bought and never walking in. I literally just FaceTime them, or family came and popped by, but they never actually saw the house but closed the deal before they moved over. So I know it's possible. We've done it.
Yes.
Is it highly recommended? No, but sometimes you just have to do things you normally wouldn't do. I mean,
right. It's kind of it's a new day.
It is. It
Yep.
is. All right. Well, thank you, Stephanie. I get to go. My daughter is making us sushi, so I'm going to have sushi and sangria. I think that'll be a good mix for Friday.
Awesome.
But it was good, and have fun showing your buyers around this weekend.
Thanks. You too.
All right. Bye.
Bye.